Hello and welcome back to my Pokemon Horizons review series. Today we are reviewing episode 5. Let's get started and I hope you enjoy. So continuing from last week, we are still on this island with Roy, and after his bonding adventure with Fuecoco, he decides to sneak aboard the Rising Volt Tackler's ship to find Fuecoco. I really like this. It showed how much of an impact they had on each other in the previous episode. This episode was Roy's introduction to all of the members of the crew and the ship itself. The episode was pretty slow, but I can't complain because it's really setting things up and also paying things off from previous episodes. Roy is trying to find Fuecoco while the explorers have arrived on this island after tracking the ship, and the ship's in need of repairs from the previous episodes, so everything is all tying together nicely, and that's what I'm loving the most about this series so far. We also continue with our little Nido thing introduction videos, which was cool, and this time they tell us about Pokeballs and the different Pokeballs that can be used to catch different Pokemon. I feel like these videos are good if you're new to watching Pokemon, but also good to help Liko and Roy as they are literally brand new trainers. I'm looking to find out who Nido thing actually is. I'm hoping it's not Ludlow because that's a bit too obvious for me. I hope it's someone that we don't even know, or maybe even a game character. Roy and Liko head off to try and get the forest Pokemon to help with the ship repairs, which was a pretty good idea, and again another throwback to the last episode where we saw these same Pokemon using their string shot, which would be perfect to patch up these holes in the ship. But then the explorers finally arrive and everything gets a bit tense. Battles begin to break out, and I think this was the best episode for both Konya and Zir. It showed them to be a bit more capable in battle rather than what we've seen before. It even looked like all his Metagross was struggling at one point. But that was another thing that I loved. All the crew members were battling. We saw Murdoch and his Rockruff going up against Konya and Rhydon. And we even see Molly and her Chansey get in on the action. And then of course the trope continues. Another Freed versus Amiphio battle that we don't see the end of. This time it's Charizard versus Corviknight. And to be fair, this was probably the least focused battle they've had so far. I think I'm starting to appreciate Amethio's character even more. You can see Konya and Zir want to get more aggressive, take them hostage, capture the ship, all this stuff. But Amethio isn't about being hostile, he just wants to get the pendant. So I think he has a good side to him which is starting to show. Also he has quite a bit of honour. When Freed is looking away during battle, Amiphio gets a bit annoyed that he's not taking it serious and he's not paying attention. He seems to have some good morals despite being in this evil organisation. And then we get a lot of development with Roy, who is trying to fully connect with Fuecoco. Just like Liko and Sprigatito did, you can see a lot of similarities between the two, and they decide to connect through song, which is just so fitting considering the last episode and Fuecoco's whole evolution line. It just makes perfect sense, and they end up unleashing an Ember finally after Fuecoco opens up more. I'm loving the chemistry they have so far, and technically Roy hasn't even caught it yet, but that'll probably come next episode. The episode ends with another cliffhanger. Amiphio goes after Liko, flying at her, and that's it. Overall, just another really solid episode of Pokemon Horizons. Probably one of the weakest of the 5 for me, but they've all been good, so that's not exactly a bad thing. It's just building things up and taking its time, which I can really appreciate. The Explorers got more development, Freed's crew got more development, and then of course Roy and Fuecoco were probably the standout. And it looks like next week we're going to be finishing this mini 3-part island arc, and we might be finding out what exactly is going on with Roy's Pokeball. So I'm loving this series so far. It's been a fun ride, and from the newest episode titles that were released, we are in for some cool stuff. But as for this one, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts. What is your rating out of 10? Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.